and join us.
Okay, let's see here. I'm checking, let me adjust this so I don't cut our heads off. You get over there? People can see you, that's fine.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Good.
And they can see us here. It's almost 8:30. But I just wanted to take a second to welcome everybody to January's Health Talk with the Motts. It's a brand new year. So this is the first video of the year, and we're excited for what we're going to talk to you guys about. Something that people have been asking about for a while, and it seems like it's been a craze or a fad, that crazy oil thing. So we're going to allow people to start populating, and then we're going to get started. So
so say hello, tell us where you're from, drop it in the comments, and we're glad you're here.
Welcome to Sheena. Who else did I say that popped in there?
Jenny.
So Jenny came in. April. Welcome.
Welcome. And be sure to stay tuned to the end because there's going to be a lot of great information. And I know a lot of people that couldn't be on live. We will be uploading this to our YouTube channel as well. So be sure to subscribe if you have not already. DNA Wellness. So a lot of great content on that as well. Any health talk with the Motts that we have done is all on there as well.
Stacy says she's watching from Maryland.
Hey.
It's like, well, thank you, Stacy, for giving us your time. So it's 8:30. Why don't we go ahead and get started? I do just want to take a second to thank everyone for getting on. One of the reasons that we're doing this class in the online format is just because we realize there's so many individuals that have had questions about essential oils, especially being that we actually work with an essential oils company, Young Living. We are Young Living reps and distributors. But the information that we're going to give you guys here is beneficial for everyone.
Yes.
It's not just to promote and sell product, but these are general guidelines that we're going to give you about essential oils. And so I know a lot of people have had questions, and we've been trying to get together with everyone, but sometimes the scheduling doesn't work out. And so this format is nice because we can get the information out there. You guys can watch it in your leisure. The only downside to it is they haven't created smell-o-vision yet. So I apologize that you guys won't be able to smell any of the oils that we're going to talk about, but feel free to take notes, ask questions, put them in the chat. And as we get to the end of the class, if you guys have any questions, we'll try to answer them then. But why don't we get started and just talking about a little about how we got started with essential oils, which starts with Dana's story.
Right. Well, before we get into that, I did want to just address too, because I know many people saw my post as well. And I really, heart to heart, like this time of year, like it really has been breaking my heart because I've been seeing so many like mommies and kids and people falling under the weather. So I really wanted to do this and speak into those people's lives. I realized that this is not going to be for everyone, but we are really looking for those people that are looking for answers. Those people that have been maybe their whole lives kind of just going through thinking that it's normal this time of year to get sick. Thinking that it's normal that, well, genetically, because, you know, my parents had diabetes or my parents had cancer, then these things are normal. A lot of our environment has a lot to do with those. So again, as we replay this video, please share this. If this content really is bringing merit to your life, we really want you to share it. That's the biggest thing, because the only way that we can build awareness around some of these factors is by educating one another. So whether it's you have health goals going into the new year, or you just want a better, more healthy lifestyle for your family, this is the missing link. And it starts here with the Premium Starter Kit, which is what we're going to go through. So I will go ahead and start with my story, how I came about with Young Living as well as essential oils, because in my wellness journey, essential oils actually have pretty much always been there. So when I was young, I was very sickly. I had really bad allergies, menstrual cycle, really bad. to the point that I was actually prescribed meds to manage like my menstrual cycles and things like that. Being young, I didn't really understand how medicines worked. I actually twice overdosed on pain meds, again, because I just didn't understand what was going on with my body and my system. But at that point, it was brought to my attention to really ask questions. How did your body get to where it is? If you have a headache, if it's a migraine, are you asking the questions? What led to this? Is my blood sugar low? Am I stressed out? Is my digestive system all out of whack? Like, what's going on as to why my system is the way it is? So that's one thing that I love about Young Living, because they really, really encourage asking the questions. Sometimes we get so into this cycle where we just, everything the doctor says, it's all good, and we never question things. It's so important that you work along as an advocate with your doctor. So fast forward, with a lot of my health issues, it really didn't for real come to my vision until I saw my son going through the same exact cycle that I was going through and suffering through. I remember his pediatrician telling me at one point that, like, his eczema and his being colicky, oh, just put some hydrocortisone on it. That's just the way he is. That's just the way it's going to be. And for any mom that has little children, to see them suffer, like, and for someone to tell you, well, that's just the way it is, no. We have to figure something else out. And at this point in my wellness journey, I was already living a toxic-free lifestyle. We had removed bleach and chemicals out of our homes. I had been using essential oils, what I thought was essential oils. And this is why, too, it breaks my heart when I see people posting like, oh, this essential oil company or that essential oil company. Do your research. It is so, so important that you do your research. And that's exactly what I did when I was introduced with Young Living. Because, again, where most people would have cabinets full of medicine, I already had cabinets full of essential oils. But yet I was still sickly. I was still sick. So I really encourage people, do your research, do your research. I know for me, I researched the company, I researched the farms. I even looked at some of the brands that I was already using that were in my cabinets, and I called their companies and I was like, hey, so where do you get your oils? Where are your farms? And they couldn't answer me. I'm actually still waiting for some of those companies to get back with me on that, because they don't know. Because the reality is, most of these companies, they're nothing more than bottlers. So you don't know where those oils are coming from. And for me to be able to actually go to the lavender farms in Utah, to sit with Young Living's company and to see their distillery, no other company is going to open their doors and be as transparent with that. And that's why I'm proud to say that, like, this is the best essential oil company in the world. And it's funny how so many other essential oil companies, what they'll do is they'll be like, well, we're pure, and they'll compare themselves to Young Living. But why would you go somewhere that is not the best quality if you're really trying to make health changes for McDonald's, you and your family?
Instead of McDonald's. Big Mick instead of the Big Mac.
So really, that's where my journey began. My sister introduced me to Young Living. I did tons and tons of research, not only on Young Living, but many other essential oil companies. And I had to see for myself. The number one reason to use essential oils is because they work. They do what they're supposed to do to support your body. You want to take away?
Yeah. And so, as Dana mentioned, I will say that I was probably semi-opposed when Dana started bringing oils into the home, because as a man, typically we don't care about the smell of things. And so I remember I would come home from work, at the time I was working midnights, and she would have diffusers going, and she would put on, they smelled like flowery oils. And I wasn't having it. It just was not clicking with me. It did not seem like something I was interested in. I grew up, as many individuals do, where you take a medication for everything. If you get sick, if you had a headache, you take a Tylenol or Excedrin. If you got the flu, you take, NyQuil, or just took a medication to fix the symptom, and you go about your business. So getting into using oils was something that was very different from me, and to kind of on top of that, she was very excited about trying to visit Young Living's farms out in Salt Lake City, Utah. Didn't know that there were black folks in Salt Lake City, Utah. The reality is there's not many, because people were shocked to see us and they were saying, "Can we touch your hair? We've never seen you guys before." But we went. And I will say, honestly, that is what changed my life, because I started seeing not only what the company was about, but just getting the education behind essential oils, what they do for the body, how can they benefit me as a man, and how can they benefit my family. And so that really excited me and nudged me in the direction to get on the journey with my wife. So for the past a year and a half, I have been oiling as well, but we've also made other changes in our lifestyle as well, so that we can lead a healthier life and complement what we're doing with the oils. So that leads us to where we are today. That's just a little background of how we got to where we are, but let's talk a little bit more specifically about the oils themselves. I will say this going into it. Feel free to ask any questions, but I am going to read this. That whether it's essential oils, prescription medication, peanut butter, or shampoo, there are products that work better for some than others. So if you try one and you don't feel it gave you the results you hoped for, what do? You try another. Same thing with a prescription medication. If your doctor gives you something, they reevaluate after so long whether it's working effectively for you or not. And if it's not, they prescribe you something else, right?
You might have to adjust it.
If you're trying a dandruff shampoo and it doesn't work and you're still flaking, what do? You switch products. So I encourage people to do the same. But I do want to make sure that people know that we're not medical professionals, and so we're not here to diagnose or look at any foot fungus or anything like that. This information that we're giving you is exactly that. It is for informational and educational purposes only. So like Dana said, make sure that you consult your doctor or physician. Just realize they're probably not going to be as well versed in essential oils, because it's not highly popular, and it seems like it's become more of a fad thing, but essential oils have been around for a very, very, very long time. It actually precedes modern medicine. It's just, it's not as popular here in the States, because we do prescribe a medication for just about everything. So one thing that I want individuals to understand is just not all oils are created the same. Like Dana mentioned, there's many companies out there. You can go to your local health food store and buy oils for very cheap. You can buy them off of Amazon as well, in different companies, but they're not going to be the same. So therefore your experience with the oils are not going to be the same. And I think this is one of the things that sets Young Living apart as one of the best oil companies out there, and it's because of their seed to seal guarantee. It's the very reason why you would not purchase your oils from a less reputable source, so to speak. And Dana does a very good job of explaining this. Give us the abbreviated version, because we're going to try to not take a ton of everyone's time tonight, but give us the abbreviated version of that seed to seal.
So seed to seal, really, and I tell people all the time, because they'll be like, well, are you familiar with this oil company? Are you familiar with that? Well, what I can tell you is with Young Living, seed to seal, they start right with those seeds. So they are going to make sure and ensure that everything that they plant, it's going to be as bioavailable as possible. They actually plant the seeds in the ground, and they are going to make sure the soil is going to be at its optimal ability as well. The next step in that seed to seal, they actually cultivate. So just like old school, they're going to go in and they hand pick weeds, no pesticides, no herbicides. It's far greater and more extensive than organic. They will not plant on any land that's had any pesticides and herbicides in over 50 years. So again, that goes beyond organic standards that we have in this country. The next step to that seed to seal process is the distillation, which this is a place that a lot of companies mess up in, because if you heat things too much, or you heat them in the wrong type of container, unfortunately things can get contaminated. Or just like you think about, if you warm up your food in the microwave, you're going to nuke some of those nutrients, right? And there's certain things that can't be warmed up at all, like your citrus oils. They need to be cold pressed in order to get the benefits from those oils. So again, it's so important that a company is very meticulous when it comes to that distillation. The next step in that process is test. And again, in this country, there are very loose regulations when it comes to what you can put on the market and say that it's 100% pure. So the fact that Young Living, while it's distilling, is constantly testing to make sure the entire batch is as pure as they claim it is from start to finish, that takes a lot of money and that takes a lot of manpower, which most companies are not going to go through the process of doing. And that's why, again, too, even, you can take oils and you can try to distill them in your home, but you're not going to be able to stick with as high of standards. Not only do they test in-house, but they also send it out to a third party to test. Again, something they do not have to do, but they want to ensure that that their oils are as pure as they claim that they are. And then the last step in that seed to seal process is the seal. So the beautiful thing about it being a Young Living distributor, you're not going to come to me to get your oils. You're going to get your oils directly from Young Living. You're going to have your account set up. You will order your items, and if there's any issues with it, you know that it's coming directly from Young Living. Each bottle is encoded with a code. So let's say you smell your cinnamon and it doesn't smell quite right. You can call Young Living and they can actually track the actual batch that came from. So it's so important, this seed to seal process. And if you have any questions about the oils that you might be using in your home, call the company. Make sure that they have some type of set standards. And it's interesting too, even the term therapeutic grade, Young Living created that. And yet people will match or try to stay up to the Young Living standard according to that standard.
Yeah. So I think it's just important, like Dana said, do your research on what you're using, because I've heard it a lot. I'm sure you've probably heard it a lot as well. People will say, oh, well, I've tried an oil before and it didn't work for me, or I had a reaction to a certain oil. Sometimes it could be the oil itself, or it could be the quality of the oil. So you really want to make sure that you're getting the best of the best when it comes to essential oils. So let's talk about 3 common ways to use it, because I feel like this is also something that's very important that a lot of people don't know. There's 3 main ways to use essential oils. You have aromatically, topically, and internally. So a lot of people are familiar with using it aromatically, which is part of the reason I think you probably came to me with the smell and said, smell this oil, because it's very common. But when you use an oil aromatically, it's going to have different benefits and effects than using them topically or taking one internally. So let's talk a little bit about using it aromatically. You can inhale directly from a bottle. You can diffuse it, which you see us diffusing here. We're diffusing all the time in our home. A good time to diffuse is when you're going to sleep. I know that we diffuse when our kids go to sleep. We have a diffuser that we run all throughout the night, because it's the longest period of time that you're going to be in a room that's diffused with essential oils is when you're asleep. So at nighttime is a very, very good time to do it. Or you could take a couple of drops of oil and put it on a cotton ball and put it in the vents either in your home or in your car. That's a great way to diffuse it as well. Now, one thing to note about using oils aromatically is it's actually very interesting. Your sense of smell is actually tied to your emotional state. So I give the example all the time of women, when they get a bouquet of flowers, what is the first thing that they do? They smell it. No one has been able to tell me why they smell it, but
it makes you feel good.
I'll go with that. And I mean, I think the logical explanation for a man is the same thing of when I come in the house and you've been cooking, and if it's been a long day, as soon as I smell like my favorite meal, like I'm excited. Yes. It doesn't matter how rough the day has been. Now I'm excited. My emotional state has been altered to some extent. So it's the same thing with using an essential oil aromatically, can be used to reinforce a certain emotion. So I think that's actually very, very interesting. But it's also great to diffuse certain things for like thieves, which we'll talk about for immunity to have within your home. Also, when you diffuse it actually makes your environment in your home more oxygen rich. And the more oxygen rich that your environment is, the less likely that disease will grow. And so, fortunately, we have not gotten sick within the past couple of years since we've been using oils and diffusing constantly, and neither have our kids, and we love it. I think that's probably hands down one of the best benefits so far. And then there's also topically, so this is common as well. Whether you take a couple of drops and you rub it into your skin, I know that some have used it on their scalp as well as in their hair. But you can apply it neatly, which is just dropping the drop on your skin and using it. Or you can dilute it with a carrier oil. So that's any type of oil that's fatty, your olive oil, coconut oil. What's another one that you like to use? Or did I hit the main two? V6 carrier oil. And you might dilute something if the oil is, say, a little hot. So something like peppermint is a very intense feeling, and it has a very intense aroma to it. So sometimes not everyone may be able to handle that, and you may need to dilute it. If you have young ones like babies in the house, you may need to dilute with them because their skin is very permeable, and so it absorbs the oil very quickly, and it could cause them to have an adverse reaction. So diluting is important as well. And you can roll it on the bottom of your feet. So that's something that's actually really, really good too. If you don't like the smell of a certain oil, remember that it's not always about the smell. Sometimes it's about the benefit that it's going to give your body as well. But if you honestly don't like the smell, you can rub them into the bottom of your feet because your feet have the largest pores within your body. And then lastly, you can take certain oils that are labeled to do so internally. So I think this was a big one for you because when you were using oils before, it would be something like lemon or peppermint that would say not for internal use, even though it's supposed to be derived from a lemon or a peppermint.
And I think this is so important too, because you will find people on the internet, you will find there's whole groups that say, never, ever, ever take essential oils in internally. And that is true when they're cut with other things. But if you think about it, if it truly is a lemon, if it truly is peppermint, if I went in nature and I took a peppermint leaf and I stuck it in my mouth and ate it, I would be fine, right? So the same thing with if it's truly in its natural form, being distilled, all you've done is taking, right, that oil off of either the fruit or the plant, right? Then it should still be safe to take in internally. So red flag, if you have an oil, and on the bottle it says for external use only, but yet it is something that should in nature be able to take internally, it has to be cut with something else.
Yeah. So something to watch. Hand me one of those white label oils there. And this is something that's been so beneficial that Young Living has taken the time. They've actually labeled certain ones of their oils. Can you guys see that? They have a white label. So they're actually labeled for internal use. I know I use a lot of oils in cooking because that's one of my passions. And it's nice to have an oil that's derived from an herb to give me the taste and the aroma.
And there's also like delis and cafes and they cook with their oils.
Yeah. But some of the benefits of that is being able to make certain supplements and capsules. So I know when I first started using oils and I would get sick and I would want to make a cough syrup, I would actually make my own cough syrup using my oils.
Yes. Peppermint and hot tea.
Yep. But they are great to add to water or food like we talked about, or putting in a vegetable capsule and taking them internally on a regular basis. So 3 main ways to remember to take your oils. So let's talk briefly about the 10 oils that everybody should have. I'm going to list them off and then we're going to go through them and tell you some of the benefits of each different type of oil. Starting with singles, you have Peppermint Vitality, which is their Vitality line, which is labeled for internal use. You have Lavender, Lemon Vitality, Copaiba Vitality, and Frankincense. And then you also have blends which are made for certain purposes. So you have Diagize Vitality, Thieves Vitality, Panaway, Purification, and RC. And they also throw in a bonus oil which I call "Don't beat your kids right now. It's not worth it," but it's actually called Stress Away.
Yes.
And it's hands down one of my favorite oils. So we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of having them, starting with peppermint.
Mm-hmm. So we got peppermint.
So peppermint supports your gastrointestinal system and normal digestion, promotes healthy bowel function, creates a cool, refreshing sensation on the skin, and you can inhale or diffuse when you need to wake up. So it definitely will perk you up. Apply topically to soothe tired muscles, or blend with a pre-workout drink for an energizing start, or wind down after your workout with a mint-infused chocolate or vanilla protein shake. So I love peppermint. Peppermint is probably one of my favorite oils that I use very often. Not only rubbing it in to sore muscles, but also for healthy digestion, which is actually one of the oils that's in Digest. So the next one that we'll talk about is lavender, which is known as the multi-tool. So lavender is a staple in every home. Most people have probably heard of it. Supports many of the body's systems, including the respiratory, nervous, glandular, cardiovascular, and the skin. You can create a spa-like retreat by combining 1 cup of Epsom salt and 4 drops of oil and adding to a hot bath, or apply on the bottom of your feet or spray on your pillow to help you relax at night. A lot of women typically like lavender. I'm not a huge fan of lavender because it does not relax me. It actually gives me energy. So I use something else, but that's one of those examples of people's bodies reacting differently because essential oils are adaptogenic. So they adapt to what your body needs. Lavender tends to give me energy, so it's not good for me to take at night. But lavender is another one that everyone should have in their home.
Yes, lavender is great for hair and skin too.
Mm-hmm.
I actually use it too in my combo to combat my seasonal discomforts that time of year. Because I used to think that it was normal not to breathe. It's not normal. So I will carry, and I still do, a roller ball with lavender, lemon, and peppermint in it. And just throughout the day, I apply it. Throughout the day, I apply it. If I think about it, I apply it. Because again, oils are oxygenating. Oils help to raise the frequency in the body. So again, when we talk about wellness, we know that staying above the wellness line, it's important to be oxygenated, alkalinized, and have a high frequency.
There you go. So the next one you have is lemon.
Mm-hmm.
So lemon is known as the energizer. It has many uses. It has a fresh, uplifting aroma. It's high in D-limonene, which is a powerful antioxidant. So if you are a researcher at all, research what D-limonene does. It supports the immune, circulatory, digestive, and respiratory systems. It's wonderful to use in water to flavor your water. It actually helped to increase my water intake because it made water taste better. May enhance mental clarity and mood, and it's a refreshing boost to home cleaning. So I know a lot of people who are old school probably do a lot of cleaning with lemons if they're doing something that's all natural. It's great to use a couple drops of lemon oil in your homemade cleaner, and you're going to get 10 times the effect. So lemon is a great one to use as well.
And just to mention too, lemon is cold pressed from the rind. So if you have issues with citrus oils and acid, this is going to be different, because this is only coming from that rind, which has a higher level of that D-limonene.
So next we're going to talk about copaiba. My sister-in-law always gets on me about the way that I pronounce that, so that was me making an earnest effort. But this is known as the amplifier. So copaiba oil is tapped directly from the tree. It promotes wellness and a youthful appearance, and you can mix it with one drop with honey and warm water to create a tea. It amplifies the effects of other essential oils, and it also includes the naturally occurring constituents beta-caryophyllene and alpha-humulene. So once again, if you are a researcher, research those constituent properties, beta-caryophyllene and alpha-humulene.
And they're the same properties that are actually found in the marijuana leaf. So if you think of some of the medicinal benefits that are in that, but there's a higher percentage of those two constituent properties in this particular oil. So when you get started with your premium starter kit, this is one of those oils that sometimes people are like, well, what is that oil again? Remember, amplifier. So this is a great one to mix with other stuff.
Yep. So let's talk about frankincense next, which is known as the powerhouse. So many people know frankincense from biblical times because it's been around for like forever. Supports immune and respiratory systems, supports well-being and normal cellular health when taken internally, and may help smooth the appearance of healthy-looking skin. Used for massage after activity, or inhale directly or diffuse to elevate the mind and enhance spirituality. And Young Living does use frankincense in a lot of their products. Now, the one that's being shown, is that the white label?
Nope.
No, it's not. The one that's being shown is actually, we call it the regular kind, but it's the same one. Young Living actually does have a vitality frankincense. So when I talked about being able to take it internally, they do have one that's labeled with the white label. Frankincense I love for immunity. Dana loves thieves, and it works great for immunity for our kids and for them, but I don't like the aroma. I'm not a huge cinnamon person, so I use frankincense instead, and frankincense is great for that. Next, let's do Digest. So Digest, I call bacon in a bottle. Not many people agree with me. I don't know what's wrong with everybody else, but it does smell like bacon in a bottle to me. But it's to maintain a healthy gut. So it combines powerful essential oils traditionally used for supporting normal digestion. You have peppermint, fennel, and lemongrass, but in addition, you also have tarragon, ginger, juniper, anise, and patchouli. And I know that one thing that I keep that one with me constantly because one thing we can probably agree on is here in America, we don't always have the best eating habits or the best food always available to us. So our digestive system needs support. Digest is going to be great for that. And a lot of issues that might even stem from such as emotional issues or even staying healthy and staying above the wellness line, it all stems from your digestive tract first. So when people are talking about trying to stay healthy, I typically say start with your digestive tract, and Digest is a great way to support that.
Start with the gut. If you don't know where to start with the gut. Definitely. And I always say too, that's your heavy hitter. So sometimes peppermint works good for digestion, but if you're like, oh, it's just a lot, like I need a little bit more, do the Digest, and you might want to mix it with a little peppermint.
Yeah. Remember, it's bacon in a bottle.
It's not bacon in a bottle.
Everyone else is wrong. Let's talk about Thieves. So Thieves is hands down Dana's favorite.
Thieves is everything.
Thieves is known as the tough guy.
If you only get the kit for Thieves, it's worth it.
No, I can attest to that. I mean, even though I'm not a huge fan of the smell of Thieves, I can attest to that.
Especially this time of year. I take a drop of Thieves every single day. And actually, I do it all the time. Every single day. Every single day. Not just when you're feeling under the weather, but every single day. Thieves.
So just to give you a little information about it, it contains cinnamon bark, clove, lemon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. It's highly effective, once again, highly effective in supporting normal function of the immune system, supports healthy oral hygiene, so it's great for your teeth and your gums, great for household cleaning, and you can add 1 drop to a cup of warm water as part of a wellness regimen, so to make a tea, or you can add 1 drop to oatmeal, granola, or any other cereal to elevate your breakfast. Also add 1 drop to a shot of Ningxia Red for a quick and spicy boost. So this would be something that you would take daily to support your immune system. Like Dana mentioned, especially this time of year, to stay above the wellness line. Interesting to note, though, really quickly. So Thieves actually got its name from the 18th century because grave robbers actually mix all of these oils together to keep themselves from getting sick when dealing with cadavers and corpses. So that can kind of attest to the power of Thieves, the fact that these individuals formulated it to help prevent them from getting sick when it came to dealing with dead bodies. Panaway. So Panaway is another one of my favorites. It's known as the heavy hitter. It's ideally applied for topical use. So this is not something that you're going to want to really diffuse or intake internally, but it is ideal after exercise. It contains peppermint, wintergreen, clove, and helichrysum. So it's a great one to use for massage, especially after you've had maybe a rough day at work or an intense workout or shooting hoops at the gym.
Yes.
Um,
So we know this time of year, everybody's getting back working out. Their body's gonna be a little stiff, and especially if you have not been working out, you're gonna keep that in your gym bag.
this Panaway was actually the oil that she won me over with because she offered to rub my feet with it. So I always come in with aching feet. All right, so next, let's talk about purification. I call this the essential oil equivalent of Febreze because it's known as the deodorizer. So you can diffuse to freshen the air and eliminate odors, or add to a carrier oil for a soothing and relaxing foot massage. Contains citronella, lavender, lemongrass, rosemary, myrtle, and tea tree. Add a few drops to your laundry to give your wash a great smelling boost. So we actually use purification in lieu of dryer sheets because we have cut that out from our home. You may want to research some of the dangers with using dryer sheets, and so purification is a great replacement for that. Or it's good just to place on a cotton ball and put it wherever you might need it. So a gym bag, sometimes people have smelly shoes, drawers or vents. This would be a great one to diffuse.
Yep.
Purification.
It's actually a really good one too. When I first was trying to figure out what was going on with my son's skin, I would actually mix purification and coconut oil and rub his body down with it, and it was a great healing oil for that as well.
There you go. So the next one is RC, which is for respiratory and congestion. Take a deep breath. It contains 3 different types of eucalyptus. You have Eucalyptus globulus, radiata, and citrodora, as well as myrtle, pine, spruce, marjoram, lavender, cypress, and peppermint. So this is a great one for, especially this time of year, and our house has been really dry lately. So RC is a great one to diffuse. If you have someone that snores like they're putting in a condo complex, RC is a great one to diffuse as well, especially during bedtime or at night to help kind of relax and to help with any type of breathing issues. And then let's talk about the last bonus oil that you get. It's called Don't Whoop Your Kids Right Now, It's Not Worth It, aka Stress Away. Contains copaiba, lime, cedarwood, vanilla, oca tea, and lavender. Enhances feeling. I don't feel like whooping anybody right now. It's okay. Enhances feelings of peace, tranquility, and relaxation for all members of the family. That's adults, children, and pets. And it's a great way to finish the day and unwind before bed. Helps to reduce mental rigidity and to restore your equilibrium as well, and may help induce relaxation and reduce occasional nervous tension. So I hands down love Stress Away because I'm like the average human. I walk around stressed out all the time. So sometimes your body needs to take a break from being stressed out. And Stress Away is a great one to use daily after I get home or after the kids have gone to bed. Yeah, vacation in a bottle.
Yes,
Thank
it
you,
is.
Stacey. After the kids have gone to bed, just to kind of help your body unwind and not be stressed out all the time. Because as we talked about before in one of our previous health talks, stress on the body constantly leads to a lot of health issues. So give your body a break. Vacation in a bottle. There you go. So you want to very briefly talk about Ningxia Red?
So Ninja Red, that's our superfood drink, right? So we know all about our superfoods and how much we should be getting some of these in our bodies. And the reality is, unfortunately, because we have depleted so many of the nutrients in our soils, we're not getting the vitamins and minerals that our body needs. Sadly, my kids' generation are the first generation expected to not outlive the life expectancy of their parents. And it's simply because they're not absorbing and getting enough nutrients. So Ninja Red is an awesome, everyday, full body support that you want to be drinking, and everybody in the family drinking that every single day, 2 to 4 ounces. It's amazing. Sustained energy. It's great stuff. And when you get your kit, you're going to get 2 sachets with that to go ahead and try that Ninja Red out, which is awesome.
Yeah. One of the reasons it's so important is I talk about a lot learning to control the things you can, because there's a lot of things in the world that you can't. So sometimes we're not always able to control the environment that we're in. Sometimes we go to work and we may be in an environment that's just not healthy. I know a lot of guys in my profession, they smoke, so I'm around cigarette smoke quite a bit, more than I would like to be. So I make sure that I take my Ningxia Red every single day, my antioxidant drink, because your body has to have a way to expel what we call free radicals, and get junk out of the body. So this is just something that's great, and you're going to take this on a daily basis. So yeah, Ningxia Red. So that brings us down to the end. I know that we've talked about a lot of great information about oils, but some of you might be wondering, how do you get started? Some people want to get an oil here or there, but I say that getting into oiling is like jumping in a swimming pool. You just have to jump in and go full on, because it's actually a lifestyle change. It's not just about getting one oil, because one oil is just not going to do it for you. It's only going to address one issue, and you want to be able to support the whole entire body. So the best way to get started is get a premium starter kit, which we've just shown you, actually, the 11 oils that come in a premium starter kit.
And all 11 of those oils, those are everyday oils. So that is just going to be your base start to what you're going to use every single day to stay above the wellness line. I know for me, there is no price I can put on the fact that my family going through this season, it's like nothing has phased us. So again, these are going to be your everyday oils. And the beautiful thing about that is you get to choose your diffuser. So we do have some of the diffusers displayed. As you can see, the beautiful aria. And you might could have actually even heard the music in the background, but it's playing the nice spa music. The Dewdrop diffuser. The only reason that the price would change is depending on which diffuser that you choose. I'll also bring over the Rainstone. This is a beautiful hand crafted ceramic diffuser. This diffuser, actually, I think Monks, they handcrafted this particular one. So this is a nice diffuser as well. So these are your choices. You can choose either diffuser. I know the Rainstorm is one of the most popular ones, but my favorite is the Aria.
So what we'll do is we'll leave, because actually to get started, we're going to leave our link to Young Living's webpage where you can go to actually purchase your kit. We're going to leave it in the description after this video has posted. But before we start to close out, does anyone have any questions that we haven't answered?
Well, I was going to say too, and if somebody has sent you this video, get back to the person that has sent you the video. Young Living is a beautiful family. Always, always, always go back to the person that you first was contact with Young Living about. So they have sent you because they cared about you. They know that this is going to absolutely change your life. I know for us, it has dramatically changed our lives. So get started today and get back with that person.
Yeah. Okay, so can we take questions now?
Yes.
Okay. And I want to thank everyone for sticking with us. I'm going to try to go back through the comments and see if I can answer any of the questions that anyone has put.
And IG over here, I know you haven't got a whole lot of love, but if you guys have any questions as well, please drop them in the comments. And we will go back and answer any questions as well. Again, remember, everything that we do will be loaded up to our YouTube channel, DNA, just the letters, Wellness. Okay, so DNA Wellness is our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe, share it, share it, share it. Again, if this content is really helping and bringing value to you, we want to build more awareness. We want to get everyone above the wellness line, right? So please share, 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 and be sure to subscribe.
So it looks like we've answered everyone's questions.
Okay, awesome.
As I'm going back and looking. So I want to thank everyone that has stuck with us throughout this Health Talk with the Motts, this educational class. I know we ran a little bit longer than we normally do, but we wanted to get all this information out to you guys, especially at the start of the year, because I know there's some people that have been trying to get with us since the start of 2017, and it's 2018.
Yes, yes.
So feel free to share. Thank you for your time once again, and we'll be in contact with everyone. And until then, stay healthy, stay well, and stay warm because it's supposed to be really, really cold in Michigan
Yes.
here tomorrow.
Yes.
And
I've heard even like down south it's cold. What's going on, guys?
Yeah. So
yep, and we
stay
have our
healthy.
in-person classes coming up as well, so keep an eye out for that. I know our next one's going to be on the 19th, which will be a Friday evening.
Yep. There you go. All right. Thank
You're
everyone
welcome.
for joining
Thanks for
us.
joining me.
And we will talk to you all soon. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.